Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the merciful, the most merciful. Uh, Today is a very special day because we have our student who is 16. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. This person is 16 years old, right? He has a very unique story with us because he came and he joined us when you were 14 years old, right?
Yes, yes.
So when he was 14 years old, you were in grade 8, right?
Yes, right.
Are you homeschooled or you were going to a school?
I was going to school.
Which school was that?
LGS, Lahore Grammar School.
LGS Lahore Grammar School. And then you and then COVID-19 came and you left the school.
Yes, exactly.
How much was the fee of the school?
It was around, I don't know exactly, Baba knows.
Baba knows, okay.
He
Is
used
it
to pay
one
the
of the
fee.
famous schools over there, Lahore Grammar School?
Yes, yes,
Okay, mashallah. Okay. So you were in grade 8, you left your school, and your father called me and he talked to me about our courses, right?
yes,
At that time, there was no EduQual, right?
no.
At that time, we were in the process of getting the accreditation and everything. And your father asked me that, what is the guarantee that we will get the accreditation and everything? And I told him, like, it's a process. We have to go through the process and we
Mm,
will let you know. Once it's done, we will let you know.
mm.
So in 2000, and today's 2024, right? So you came to us in 2021, right?
Yes, yes,
So 2021, you joined us. You
yes,
started with CAT.
yes.
There was so you didn't study grade 9 or 10, nothing.
No,
You left everything.
yes, everything.
This is very amazing. So you started with grade 9, grade 8 after
Eight.
grade started with CAT. Then you went to DCCS, right? And then you
Yes,
went with
yes,
basically after the DCCS, you went with DevOps and then
yes,
DevSysOps.
yes,
So you bought 3 tracks from us. CAT is
yes,
DCCS and then DevOps and SysOps. So you were essentially, when we became EduQual compliant, then you went for DevSysOps, right? You asked
yes,
me, what should I do? I said, study DevSysOps. Because
yes.
you were so young at that time, I thought studying level 6 may be too much for you. Okay.
I'm studying level 6 right now.
I know, mashallah. This is amazing. So you completed all of those courses. You haven't even completed your final exam. Today is your final exam.
Yes.
And may Allah make it easy for you.
Um,
And and then after studying for 2 years with us, going through everything, you also became Pakistan first CKAD certified person, right?
yes,
Certified Kubernetes application developer
yes,
at a very young age, mashallah.
yes,
And then you completed all the courses and this and that and whatnot. That's all, and now you are going for your final exam. There are certain requirements you still have to complete,
yes.
internship MCQs and stuff like that.
Mm.
I was looking at your resume. That resume is not even ready for job.
I
But
created by myself, that's why.
you created that resume yourself. I mean, if I look at the resume, it has nothing. I mean, there is nothing in there, right? But because of your skill and everything, right? You applied for a job and you secured a job. And right now you are working in Saudi Arabia for a Saudi company, right?
Yes, for a Saudi company.
It's a pretty big company, by the way.
Yes.
It's a huge company. And you started working. How many employees are there in that company?
In Pakistan, it's around 18 to 20. I don't know about the Makkah.
Okay. Uh, Let me see. Let me quickly check, right? Because you sent me the links and everything. Because this is very interesting. I'm just trying to build up the foundation of our discussions, right?
Okay.
So this is the company. It's amazing that it's an AI for road safety, right?
Yes.
So that's what they do. They utilize cameras and whatnot, right? Building traffics and whatnot. It's a good
Mm.
company. They're doing a lot of work, right? Okay. Artificial intelligence for road safety, a new generation of traffic cameras. So, mashallah, that's good. That's really, really good. Mashallah. Um, because in Saudi Arabia, they are investing heavily in many, many things, right?
Hmm.
The company is sponsored by Intel AI, NVIDIA, and Access Application Development Partner. It's good. I mean, they're doing a lot of good things. May Allah make it, may Allah give them more success. Uh, it is amazing. I'm just looking and trying to understand, what you did and how you did, right? Okay. So now you're working for that company, excuse me, and you are earning, what is your salary right now? It's a six-figure salary, right? If you don't want to share, you don't have to share it. Okay. So you're
Yes.
earning, mashallah,
Okay.
a good salary, right?
Yes.
You're earning a good salary, mashallah. Uh, with the benefits and everything, you are in a very secure spot, mashallah. So you're grade 8. You're
Yes.
about to get certified because
Hmm.
you're through and through, you have, almost, you're in the higher percentile of the class. I
Yes.
would be surprised if you couldn't pass today's test. I have to test you and see how it goes because you have been able to complete all the courses with flying colors, right? So
Hmm.
I have this assumption that you will be able to get this thing completed. Okay,
Inshallah.
inshallah. So you did all of this thing. You're now working for this company, and it's amazing that you went through all of this thing, and now you are at the age of 16. Whatever money you invested in this Nafi college, I always ask for the ROI, return on investment.
Yes.
So what is your return on investment? How much did you spend?
Around I think 4 to 5 lakhs.
4 to 5 lakhs altogether, right?
Yes.
Examination fee, diplomas, and
Hmm.
then and now you are that includes AI ops fee as well, right?
No, if we add the AOPS fee, I think it goes around 5 to 6 lakhs
Okay,
in between that.
because you kept on upgrading yourself, right? Okay.
Yes.
So now going back till diploma 5, you spent 4 or 5 lakhs, and you have secured the job. What is your ROI? After how much time you're getting that money back?
I'm thinking around 4 to 5 months.
So in 4 to 5 months, you will get all of that money back.
Yes.
So you saved after grade 8, you should have gone to grade 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 years. And then another 3 to 4 years for
Hmm.
basically bachelor's.
Hmm.
So you saved 7 to 8 years time and you are
Hmm.
on a job.
Yes.
You know how powerful this is.
Yes.
This is what defines you as a successful candidate, right? So at the
Right.
age of 16 and a half, right? There's no such thing as a half. Right? Either you're 16 or you will be 17, right?
Hmm.
So next year you will be 17, right?
Yes.
So at the age of 16, you are earning a six-figure salary. That's why I told you now it is time for you to get married. Because in Islam, you're a Muslim. We have Muslim, non-Muslim students all over the world. Uh, in Islam, it is recommended for the person to get married at an earlier age, as per the Sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? So it's amazing, mashallah, you have done all of those things. Uh, I went for Umrah and
Hmm.
I asked Allah in Mecca that, oh Allah, give me success and success to all of my students who listens to me. Those who are rebel and they don't listen to me, I'm not responsible for them. But those who listens to me, this is the dua of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because he used to say, oh Allah, whoever follows me, they they will go to Jannah, right? So
Hmm.
it's amazing that, I always make this dua. So whoever listens to me, they are able to secure the job, because the number one objective of a NAFE is to give you all the skills and mentorship and everything so that you are able to secure the job. So I'm really, really happy, Musa Jamal, at the age of 16, you have achieved something, and
Yes.
and have set up a very high barrier for others to climb. I mean, you have even defeated me, you know. At the age of, I was the youngest CSSP person,
Mm.
right? At the age of 21, 22. And you are the youngest CKAD. But at the same time, I completed my master's and and established my first university at the age of 25, right?
Mm.
Uh, Long story short, now I'm 44 years old, right? And I'm establishing a second university now. The college is
Yes.
already established. We are getting the Pearson diploma programs, which are globally recognized and accepted, and then we will go for OFS. That's a gradual, progression. You haven't completed Al Razzak program.
Mm.
We have 30,000 plus jobs
Mm.
right now globally for those who complete the Al Razzak program, and the pool is getting
Right.
big. But you were able to, but for the Al Razzaq, you have to complete all the requirements, right? You have to complete all
Yes.
the labs, all the requirements.
Mm.
But you've already find the job. I mean, it's
Yes.
amazing, mashallah, right? Now, this is my recommendation for you. I don't know what will happen today once we go for the interview, but you will be able to know whether you pass or fail immediately.
Okay.
That's what we give you the convenience and the easiness of letting you know whether you have passed or failed. If you have passed, that's great. If you have failed, you have to go back and revise and come back again, right? The second thing is, this is my recommendation for you, is complete AI Ops and head to the States.
Okay.
Because if at this age, if you can go to the States in the next 17 by 18, if you go to the States, you can go to MIT or Stanford because
Mm.
you have the potential to be the youngest student at MIT or Stanford. Graduate from there, you can go on a scholarship program, you can do all of those things. And that is going to be very, very monumental for you. You can even go to the Oxford or Cambridge, because when we open our university, you can even apply for scholarship. And I can tell you right now, if you complete the Al Razak requirements and everything, then that is one of the ways of getting our scholarship, right? Pass the AI Ops and then complete all the requirements, all the Al Razak requirements, you can be considered for scholarship, 100% scholarship, complete. You
Yeah.
can go there, study. We provide you financial scholarship, and we also provide you working with us at the university. So you'll be able to earn and sustain yourself at the same time.
Right.
That's a great, great way of you getting like an immense launching pad for your growth trajectory of going upwards, right? Okay. All right, so today's exam is going to be for Musa Jamal. Excuse me. The exam is pretty straightforward. We sent you the email. You have already reviewed the email. You understand the terms and conditions, what you have to go
Yeah.
through. This is broadcasted live so that everyone understands what they have to go through, right?
Okay.
My voice is a bit, is not 100% because I'm still having some sore throat. So if I lose my voice, please accept my sincere apologies for that. I will repeat the question. If you can't understand anything, you can ask me the question again. Can you please repeat the question again? Okay.
Okay.
In case if there's like you are in Pakistan, right? If
Yes.
if you would have been in States or the UK, I would have said like there's no problem in terms of electricity or anything. But
Mm.
if there's like any kind of load shedding happening or anything like that, then there's a process you have to follow, and we will resume your presentation where you left it, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right? But the topic may change, but there are other things that we consider, right? At what point we left you in the presentation, so on and so forth. So all these things
Okay.
we do matter, right?
Okay.
It's a fairly straightforward. You will be given 15 to 20 minutes to explain your presentation, followed
Okay.
by questions from me,
Okay.
right? So then I'm going to ask you questions specifically, as it pertains to your own presentation,
Okay.
right? The presentation topic is that we give is mostly related to job description, right?
Yes.
You are working in an artificial intelligence company that are using AI, NLP, computer vision, and all these kinds of things,
Mm.
and generative AI to make sense of traffic recognition, patterns, and whatnot, right? For the road traffic and safety. So once you go down that path of completing your AI ops, you will be in a position to work in machine learning and generative AI and artificial intelligence operations. Along with the CEO, I mean, you can go to the CEO and say, these are the ideas I have. This is what I recommend. What do you say? So on and so forth, right? So these
Okay.
are all the things I would like to tell you. Apart from that, I think it's great. I can see, people from different countries working at your place.
Yes.
There are people from Canada, from US, Los Angeles, from Pakistan, from Manitoba, Canada, US, California, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, Lahore. I think there are 13 people working from Lahore.
Mm.
So you might be one of them. You live in Lahore, right?
Yes.
So that's great, mashallah. I mean, this is good. This is all good. Uh, I wish you the best before we
Thank
start the
you.
exam.
Okay.
And may Allah help you, give you success in this world and hereafter. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So please proceed with the sharing of your screen. Start with the presentation. When I start making some notes and
Okay.
start looking at a presentation on my big screen.
Can you see my screen?
Hold on. Let me see if I have to zoom out or something like that. Give me 1 minute, please. I can see the screen, but it's very zoomed out. Okay. I have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, hold on. Let me move this to the big screen. And let me move this screen to the other screen. Yes, I can see your screen clearly. Let's proceed.
Okay.
Bismillah.
Bismillah. My name is Musa Jamal, and my topic for RQF Level 5 is DevSys of Strategy for PCI DSS compliant in payment services. So let's start. Introduction to PCI DSS. What is PCI DSS? Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard is an information security standard designed to reduce payment card fraud. So what PCI DSS does is that it implements a range of security controls around the cardholder data to keep it secure. And who is it applicable to? So any entity or company that stores, processes, or transmits card data will be applicable to PCI DSS. There are 6 goals in the PCI DSS. And under these 6 goals, there are 12 requirements. By fulfilling those 12 requirements, we can achieve these 6 goals and get PCI DSS compliant. Levels of compliance. PCI compliance levels are based on the amount of transactions each year. So my presentation focuses on level 1 compliance. In level 1, any company that transactions is more than 6 million transactions annually will be applicable to the level 1 compliance in PCI DSS. And level 1 compliance requires companies to use a third-party auditor, and the external audits are performed by qualified security assessors. This type of auditor must be approved by the PCI SSC, PCI Standard Security Council to ensure compliance. Now let's talk about the PPT framework. The PPT framework is a strategic model designed in a way that so that the people, processes, and technology work in harmony for successful business operations. So in people, we highlight the roles and the responsibilities of individuals in the organization, and we educate them regarding the security risks and standard. And people is the most important framework, the most important part in the PPT framework, because they are the one who will implement these processes and technology. Then we have processes. In processes, we establish clear guidelines or procedures for handling the cardholder data securely and implementing security in existing processes such as change management, release management, or incident response. And finally, we have technology. In technology, we specify what technology we should use or leverage for to assist us in our PCI DSS compliance efforts. Uh, what many people do is that they think, okay, if the cloud is PCI compliant, then we don't need to do anything, and every aspect of security will be handled by the cloud. Or they go the other way around as well. They think, okay, we have to do anything, and they do not trust the cloud. So we need to find that right balance, and and to understand is that is by understanding the cloud shared responsibility model. So the customer is responsible for the security in the cloud, and the cloud service provider is responsible for the security of the cloud. So the customer is responsible for like the customer data, the platform, applications, the IAM, and all that stuff. And the cloud service provider is responsible for the software and hardware. Software can include compute, storage, databases, networking, and the hardware may include regions, availability zones, and edge locations. Segmenting PCI workloads. Segmenting PCI workloads is a critical strategy to enhance security and compliance in cloud environments. So, by isolating cardholder data, we can ensure that only authorized individuals have access to the cardholder data and protect it from data breaches. Reduce the scope of compliance assessment. This means that by segmenting our PCI workloads, we can ensure that only necessary systems are need to be checked for compliance, which can reduce the complexity of the PCI DSS compliance. AWS provides tools such as AWS Organization to segment our PCI workloads at the account level and VPC to segment our PCI workloads at the VPC level. Secure network architecture. Network security is crucial for protecting data in AWS. It ensures only authorized access to resources and prevent data breaches. So VPC, AWS VPC provides us with a logically isolated environment within the AWS cloud in which we can launch our AWS resources, manage networking, security settings, and all that stuff. Best practices include isolation, network segmentation, encryption, which are key to securing the network architecture of our infrastructure. And we should not use vendor supplied defaults for passwords and other security aspects. Utilization of AWS security groups and NACLs. AWS security groups and NACLs allows us to handle the traffic in and out of AWS. AWS security group act as a virtual firewall at the instance level, and NACLs provide us the ability to control traffic at the subnet level. Integration of AWS WAF and Shield. AWS WAF, Web Application Firewall, allows us to filter and monitor requests at the application layer, which is the layer 7, and it helps us to protect our data against web-based attacks. And AWS Shield is a managed DDoS protection service, which can help organizations to protect its infrastructure against denial of service attacks. Just give me a minute. Data protection. Data security measures play a crucial role in safeguarding cardholder data and ensuring compliance with PCI DSS requirements. Data encryption. By encrypting our data, we can ensure that only authorized individuals have access to our data, and also data encryption also helps us to safeguard our data at rest as well in transition. Reduce cardholder data storage. This means that we create a data retention and disposal policy. Um, this policy should clearly define what, where, and for how long cardholder data is stored, and it should also ensure that the data that exceeds the retention period should securely be deleted. Data obfuscation methods include masking or disguising data, which can help us to safeguard our data when in transmission. Secure transmission protocols. Protocols such as HTTPS, TLS, or SSH encrypt our data when transmitting over a network, which can increase data integrity, availability, and also help us to protect our data when in transition. Vulnerability Management Program. Ensuring security and integrity of our data is key, especially when it comes to handling sensitive cardholder information. Protect against malware. Antivirus should be installed on all systems and workstations, and it must be capable of protecting against all types of malicious software. Incident response and recovery. Incident response and recovery are essential components as organizations need to have a well-defined incident response plan to mitigate risk as soon as they occur. Perform regular vulnerability assessments to identify security weaknesses and security spots in our infrastructure. Then implement a robust patch management process. By implementing a robust patch management process, organizations can easily identify security risks and vulnerabilities. Access control measures. Access control allows us to manage access to sensitive resources securely. IAM. By implementing IAM, we can ensure that um, only authorized individuals have access to our data, and then we have role-based access control. RBAC should be implemented appropriately so that each individual has only the access to system and resources needed to perform a specific job function. Multi-factor authentication. MFA provides an additional layer of security by requiring users to perform multiple forms of authentication, which can enhance security. By taking these access control measures, we can limit access based on business need to know. Monitor your environment. Continuous monitoring is essential for detecting and responding to security threats and ensuring ongoing compliance. Benefits of real-time monitoring. Real-time monitoring allows organizations to continuously monitor their infrastructure and respond to security incidents as they occur. Also, by setting up alerts, the administration can receive immediate notifications regarding any suspicious activities. AWS provide tools such as CloudWatch, CloudTrail, and AWS Config for monitoring and logging. AWS CloudWatch helps us to basically continuously monitor our environment. AWS CloudTrail allows us to log API activities, and AWS Config allows us to review configuration changes of our AWS resources. Lastly, we have maintained security policies. Information security and policies serve as a foundation for implementing and maintaining effective security measures within an organization. Scope and objective. The information security policy should clearly define its scope and objective, such as protecting the cardholder data, ensuring data integrity, and complying with the relevant PCI DSS rules and regulations. Training and awareness. Employees should be trained and aware regarding information security policies and latest security risk and standards so that they can handle cardholder data securely. Policy review and updates. Information security. By periodically reviewing and updating our information security policies, we can ensure that our policies remain relevant and effective. This is the architecture which I've used to showcase my presentation. This architecture shows that what everything I've explained, in this architecture, it's being taken into action. Do I need to explain this architecture or showing is enough?
I will be asking a lot of questions regarding this architecture at the very
Okay.
end. Yes, I've
Okay.
already created these questions. I'm going to ask you about that.
Okay. Okay, and thank you.
That's it? It's done?
Yes.
Okay, you can stop your sharing screen, please, if you can. Okay. Well, PCI DSS, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, is a very loaded area, as you know.
Yes.
It has tons of things to consider. And if any person can or is able to manage PCI DSS, Bismillah, they can pretty much work in any company
Yes.
that has to deal with PCI DSS, right?
Hmm.
So this is one of the standards that are widely accepted and regulated throughout the world because the banking system is the most important core feature of the global financial system, right? The
Yes.
banking system and the credit card system is one of that subset branch that it has. So it's part of that, right? Not
Yes.
directly, but indirectly. So my first question to you is, which companies have to comply with PCI DSS? I'm going to ask
So
a tough question and an easier question. Okay.
okay. The organizations or companies which process, transmit, or store cardholder data will have to comply with the PCI DSS standard.
So any company that processes,
Hmm.
handles, or
Yes.
stores
Yes.
hard data comes under the direction of basically PCI DSS, right? Okay,
Exactly.
that's good. The follow-up question is, what if the company is only storing the first and the last four digit of the card number? Do they still have to comply with PCI DSS?
Uh, if they are storing only the first or last digit of the card, um,
Okay, that was a zinger,
yes.
right? So
Then I don't
They're
think so
not
that
processing, they're just storing the last
yes,
first and the last. And they're not classified, then they don't have to comply with
yes,
PCI.
they don't have to comply.
Okay. All right. So question number 3. I'm going to ask you a tough question and an easier question, right?
Okay.
Because I keep on changing and so that there's no pattern that anyone can pick it up. The tougher question, let's go for that. What are some of the most, as per your presentation, what are some of the most significant challenges you foresee in integrating DevOps, SysOps, cybersecurity, and other technologies to achieve PCI DSS? And how would you address them? It's a very loaded.
So, yes. Can you give me 1 minute to think about it?
Okay, please.
Mhm. You're talking about what challenges we can face when implementing these technologies.
Like there are different domains, right? So there's a DevOps, there's, looking at the diagram that you from the
Mm,
AWS, right? There's DevOps, there's SysOps, there's cybersecurity and other technologies in there, and they
mm.
are there to achieve PCI DSS compliance. What are the significant challenges that you foresee? I know you're only 16 years old, but
Mhm.
this is the question that the senior management can ask you during presentations, during interviews, right? So
So,
what are some of the things that you see are the significant challenges?
some of the significant challenges can include network segmentation, that we have to segment our workloads across different environments,
Okay.
and encrypting our data. Also, we have another challenge can include
Let me give you an example. PPT.
people, process, and technology.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So now rephrase the answer again.
Okay, so the significant challenges that you can face is training the employees regarding all these different technologies, creating procedures, building guidelines for them, and choosing a specific or leveraging specific technology, that which technology we should use for what, like in DevOps, cybersecurity.
Good, good. You have to pay attention. So integrating these domains involves aligning different teams, objectives, methodologies, ensuring seamless communication,
Yes.
maintaining compliance amidst of all the rapid development happening, right? As you can see,
Okay.
like CrowdStrike issue happened. Addressing these challenges require establishing clear communication channels, adopting a culture of a continuous compliance and automation, artificial intelligence operations, AI ops,
Mm.
compliance checks, regular training. These are the significant challenges. Okay. That
Okay.
was a tough question, actually.
Mm.
You were able to answer it. I'll give you some marks for that.
Yes.
Uh, Easier one. There's going to be easy and a tough one. So level of compliance. How are PCI compliance levels determined? I mean, you showed me in there,
Yes.
like,
They are determined based on their transactions annually. So level 1, we have greater than 6 million transactions. In level 2, we have 1 to 6 million transactions annually. In level 3, we have 20,000 to 6 million to 1 to a million transactions annually. And in level 4, there are less than 20,000 transactions annually.
so who determines, like, uh, this is part of the question, who determines that this is the level applicable to you?
The QSAs,
The QSA, good, good. What does QSA stand for? There's no point for
Qualified Security Assessors.
that. I already said there's no point for that. That was a very easy one, right? Okay, let's go for the tough one. I'm going to put my tough hat. Uh, Actually, let me put on my tough hat. This is a very tough hat. Okay. All right. So, uh, blockchain and AI in your diagram, right? How
Okay.
can blockchain and AI specifically contribute to enhancing PCI DSS compliance? And what potential risks do they introduce?
Can I open my diagram?
Yeah, sure, sure. I have your diagram in front of me. That's how I'm designing questions.
Um, okay.
By the way, this is being marked by
Okay.
me as per the rubric that we have. And the AI is going to basically then analyze my conversation with you and provide us a report that we will send it to you as well as part of the final.
Do I need to share my screen, or I can open it privately?
You can share your screen if you want. That's fine. So, how can blockchain and AI be specifically contribute to the PCI DSS compliance, and what potential risks do they introduce? So if I throw in blockchain and AI in here, what happens? What other risks do we have to deal with?
What your voice break?
What other risks do they introduce?
AI and blockchain, what risk the AI and
Yes,
blockchain
yes.
introduce? Mm,
All right, this was a tough question. Blockchain can provide, what does blockchain really does? It provides you an immutable record of transactions, right?
yes, yes,
Enhancing what? Transparency,
yes,
confidentiality, integrity, availability, non-repudiation, right? That's what it
yes,
does. And security. While
mm,
AI can automate the threat detection response, you have, guard duty, you have internet gateway, NAT gateway, all of these kind
yes,
of, right? So these they can do all of those things, awesome things. However, blockchain can be resource intensive, depending on what blockchain methodology
mm,
you're using, the public or the private, and challenging to integrate with existing systems. That's another bigger problem.
mm,
Sometimes organizations have old systems
yes,
that cannot support integration with new systems, new technologies. And
mm,
AI systems may introduce biases. There's a bias, right? There's a
mm,
bias that requires significant data for training.
mm,
You can stop the screen. All the AI models are trained by who? By the Western countries.
yes,
They're using data from the
mm,
Western uh, economies, right? And the
yes,
societies.
mm,
And there is a biasness. There's racism, there's biasness, there's a lot of things. And AI is learning from that.
mm,
If you teach man, how to fish, then he will fish the same way that you taught that person, right?
mm,
So AI is already showing these biasness when it is employed in many of these scenarios.
mm,
For example, someone wants a loan, right?
mm,
If that person is from a Caucasian background versus an African background, African American, then the AI will say the possibility of the Caucasian to pay back the loan is higher as compared to, the
African,
African,
mm,
yes. And the reason is that that's because of the data that is coming from. The African society is not giving any opportunity, and they go through
mm,
all of these environmental and societal challenges from time to
mm,
time, right?
mm,
Education is one of them, no job opportunities. I mean, these biasness are then adopted by AI itself as well. So to give it a sentient way of saying, like, AI, you decide yourself for that
mm,
specific person, that's a huge challenge. And
yes,
the academians and the researchers are still trying to figure out how they can do all of these things. That was a tough
okay,
question.
yes,
Okay. Uh, Musa, you're not, 5 questions, 3 points.
okay,
All right. So, just I'm gonna take off my hand, tough hand. This is no tough hand. Okay, all right.
okay,
Relax, just relax. This is my normal hand. This is my prayer hand.
mm,
People, process, and technology. Can you explain the strategic model of people, process, and technology in the context of PCI DSS compliance, but add a fourth pillar to it, AI. So it's PPT
okay,
AI. So peptide, right?
okay.
So how do you explain to me, what happens? People,
So,
says these
uh,
technologies, AI.
people will be trained regarding security risk, standards, and AI. So they will be the one who will develop the AI models. And in processes, we will establish guidelines and procedures regarding PCI DSS and how to leverage AI to conduct PCI DSS assessments. And technology will use specific technologies to run AI and help, which can help us in our PCI DSS compliance efforts.
Okay, it's good. It's good. Compliance in a hybrid cloud environment. There's more to answer to that answer, but again, it's more. If I go into that too much detail, it becomes AI ops, right? The
Mm,
purpose of this exam is DevSys ops, right? So I have
yes.
to keep it over there. Compliance in hybrid cloud environment.
Hmm.
What specific strategies would you employ to maintain PCI DSS compliance? I'm looking at your diagram in a hybrid cloud environment where resources are spread across on-premises and cloud platforms.
So for on-premises, we'll do physical checkups, we'll do on-site reviews, on-site testing for the infrastructure that is deployed on the on-site, and for the cloud, we'll do testings and we'll do uh, all that PCI DSS requirements on the cloud. But the cloud is because the cloud is PCI DSS compliant, and we'll only have to do those specific requirements which we need on which we are responsible.
Yes, this is very important. Whenever you go for a job interview, they say we have on-prem and we have on the cloud, right? On-prem is our own data center, but on the cloud is where like it's with Azure or AWS or IBM or Google or whoever that is managing, right? So how do we make sure that which controls are applicable, right? So some of these most of these controls are applicable on the on-prem. When you go to the cloud environment, then depending on, is it like software as a service, infrastructure as a service, application as a service? I mean, what are you doing? X as a service, it can be anything as a service, right?
For on-prem, we are fully responsible, and on the
You're fully
cloud,
responsible.
it is divided.
Yes, depending on what service you're getting, based on that service consumption, we decide and draw, which is applicable to us. Okay, it's good. Let me give you another question. Shared responsibility model, right?
Okay.
So understanding like the cloud share responsibility model, is it crucial for PCI DSS compliance?
It is crucial because, as I said, what many people tend to do is that if they think that if the cloud is PCI DSS compliant, and if they don't comply themselves, then they are in a huge risk. Or if they think that okay, we have to do everything, then they'll try to make things complex, and it will incur more costs. So understanding the cloud share responsibility model is crucial for maintaining PCI DSS compliance in the
So
cloud.
if I have I'm a provider and I'm getting everything as infrastructure as a service from AWS, what part is AWS responsible and what part am I responsible?
So the AWS will be responsible for the compute, storage, and the physical hardware, the regions, the availability zones, etc. And will be responsible for the applications we run on it, the data, the IAM security policies.
Who's responsible
And
for that? The application.
the applications, the customer data, we are responsible. And the AWS is responsible for all that compute, hardware, etc.
So if anything happens to our application and it's compromised, whom should we sue?
The application,
Yes.
then will be responsible, as maintaining the security on the application is our responsibility.
Good. Okay. Good job. That was because most of the engineers don't know. I mean, you at the age of 16, if you know this, that's the CEO, will be very happy with you and understand, okay, this guy knows what we are going through, right? Knowing the responsibility, it's like drawing a line through the sand, right? If you keep on drawing a line with sand, it keeps on disappearing. You have to put a border and say, this is what AWS is responsible, this is what we are responsible, okay? All right. Next question is zero trust architecture. What's that?
Zero trust architecture.
There's a course coming in. So you have to complete that course, but you should have read this about in the PCI DSS. It's in the standard. As part of the level 5, you will be given some learning material you have to complete, right?
Okay.
But because we keep on adding new stuff in there. But what is zero trust architecture within PCI DSS compliance? It's mentioned in requirement 1 and 2 and 3.
Okay,
Very different manner, but it's essentially zero trust architecture. You mentioned something like that.
I don't think so, but by looking at the name, I can tell that we cannot trust anyone.
Yes. The name implies it. It
Yes.
means like, implementing zero trust involves assuming no implicit trust,
Hmm.
right, within the network.
Yes.
So everything is by default denied. The
Yes.
only open, this is requirement one of the PCI DSS standard. Like you deny everything to everyone, and
Yes.
you just open as you see what needs to be there. Like the key considerations include robust identity verification, strict access
Hmm.
control, micro segmentation. Not only segmentation, but micro segmentation.
Hmm.
Segmentation based on the application itself
Hmm.
and the VM itself.
Hmm.
Continuous monitoring in the case of containers and the containers itself, and maintaining
Hmm.
compliance with encryption and authentication, right? That's what it
Okay.
is. Okay,
Okay.
it's good. Uh, okay. Uh, we have, okay, secure network architecture, right? There's a lot of
Okay.
architecture you've showed here. So
Hmm.
how does secure network architecture in AWS supports PCI DSS compliance? There's a lot of components you have mentioned.
Hmm.
What does it do?
Secure architecture in AWS, we can use network segmentation, isolating our cardinal data using IAM rule, implementing RBAC, using AWS WAF, AWS Shield, and controlling traffic using security groups and NACLs. And by using all this, we can protect our architecture within the AWS.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Yeah, there you covered like you know, NACLs, integrating
Mm,
AWS WAF, Shield,
mm,
access security groups,
mm.
stuff like that. Okay. All right. Incident response.
Mm,
In the event of a security breach involving cardholder data,
mm.
what immediate steps would you take to mitigate the impact and ensure continuous PCI DSS compliance?
We should start with investigating where from where that.
Immediate step. Investigation starts later on. What is the first immediate step you have to perform? This is mentioned in the PCI DSS standard. Requirement 12.
Mm. The immediate step will be to notify the affected parties.
No, that's the second step.
Okay. Implementing patch management processes.
No, that's a remediation step. So what is the
Immediate.
first step you do? You realize, oh, the network is compromised. Oh gosh, what do I have to do now? First step,
Mm,
you isolate the affected systems.
okay.
Part of the forensic exercise is you don't shut it down, you don't do anything, you just isolate, just cut it down from the network and just say,
Mm,
okay, just leave it there. You know,
mm,
conducting a thorough investigation is the second step, and notifying relevant stakeholders, right, is the third step. Fourth
okay.
is preserving evidence for forensic analysis. This is ongoing with the first investigation process, and patching vulnerabilities, performing root cause analysis, updating incident response plan,
Mm,
tabletop exercises, all those kinds of good stuff. It comes at the very end, right?
okay.
Lessons learned, so on and so forth, right? Okay, we'll give you half of that. Okay, next is vulnerability management, right?
Okay.
Uh, what components constitute an effective vulnerability management program for PCI DSS compliance?
Can you please repeat?
What components
Mm,
constitute an effective vulnerability management program for PCI DSS?
mm.
I mean, what do we have to do as part of the PCI DSS to have a vulnerability management program?
Oh,
Requirements and then PCI
we
DSS
should
requirements.
run
Now, I know
run.
these requirements by memory because when you work in the industry, you know everything
Mm.
inside out, right? That's what made me the CIO in a company, right? In the
Oh,
first place. So tell me,
mm.
uh, what constitutes an effective vulnerability management program?
um, running vulnerability assessments. I'm conducting penetration tests on our systems, and um, I think vulnerability assessment, penetration tests, and trying to break in our system so that we can find those.
So an effective program includes protecting against malware, incident
Hmm,
response and recovery, performing regular vulnerability management, internal scans, external scans, internal vulnerability net testing, external vulnerability testing, application penetration testing, and
hmm.
implementing a robust patch management program. That's what it constitutes of, right? Okay. All right, let's go for the next one. How does offensive security play a role in implementing PCI DSS compliance?
Offensive security.
Yeah, you
Um,
read this in the DCCS, right? You
yes.
did MSTG, FSTG, not FSTG, MST, but WSTG and some of the other stuff, right? MITRE
So
tech.
by offensive security, we can use to penetrate into our system and look for security weaknesses, security spots that we can use patch management procedure to patch those up so that no, unethical entities don't try to break in that using using those vulnerabilities or security weaknesses.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it involves all these kinds of stuff, pen testing, ethical hacking, stuff like that. So as part of the DevSysOps strategy, your diploma is in DevSysOps, right?
Hmm.
How would you incorporate this in your DevSysOps environment, right? How would you incorporate offensive security as part of them?
Um, how would I incorporate offensive security in DevSysOps?
Yeah.
Um, we can use DevSysOps to automate
The
penetration
answer
testing.
is it's a three-word answer.
Three word. Hmm.
Let me ask you, how things are managed in DevOps? How do you manage it?
How do we manage them? I'm not really getting the context of your
The
question.
context is like, everything is managed as a code, right?
Yes.
Infrastructure as a code,
Hmm.
you know, everything is managed as a code, right?
Hmm.
How do you manage offensive security?
Um, using infrastructure as code. No, no, no. Not infrastructure as code.
You're getting close, getting close. It's
Um,
security as a code, right? So you do code
security as a code.
reviews, you do code reviews, code
Hmm.
profiling, threat assessments, all these kinds of good stuff, right?
Okay.
This is part of the DCCS. Uh, generative AI, right? Okay. Generative AI. How can generative AI be utilized to enhance cybersecurity measures in PCI DSS compliance?
Generative AI can be used to can help us by evaluating the security risk and giving us the helping us in choosing specific technologies and where to perform test, how to perform efficient test on our infrastructure.
Yeah, you can create models to predict
Mm,
and counteract potential threats,
yes.
adversarial networks and stuff like that.
Mm,
Uh, generate source code, a
mm,
secure code in the first place.
mm.
Use AWS. What's AWS service is called to scan all the code as per PCI DSS requirements. Is it secure,
Um,
compliant? There's a
Scan
service.
the code.
Yeah, there's a service by AWS. Your whole
Mm,
infrastructure that you showed is from AWS, right?
mm,
So there's a service by AWS. What do you call it? That service, which goes in and performs cybersecurity lifecycle testing on on a given application as per PCI DSS and other standards.
mm. AWS Macy?
No, not Macy.
Not Macy.
AWS Code Guru and Code Profiler.
Code Guru. Okay.
It does that, right? So that's
Okay.
one of the things. Okay, next question. I'm going to keep that question for the very end. The evolution of compliance. I want to ask that later on. Okay. How important it is to have robust security policies in an organization?
Uh, Robust security policies help us to it helps us to build the base so that we can use those security policies to help guide us to uh, create the infrastructure based on that policy and keeping the infrastructure secure and using different technology, which technology we should use as per the policy, and by training the employees regarding those policy, we can make sure that the employees know those the security policies, and they can handle the cardholder data securely.
So essentially, information security policies provide a foundation
Yes.
for implementing security controls, right? And maintaining
Mm.
effective security measures, right?
Yes.
They include what? The policies include what?
Uh, they include
Oh,
guidelines and different
the first is
technologies.
scope. They have a scope. What is the scope
Okay.
of the policy? The second
Mm.
is
The scope, then the um, scope and objective, and then they have
objective, and then
objective,
objective, and then training and awareness. And then
training
there's
and awareness.
there is another last process which keeps on every year. What's the name of it?
That is I know reviewing
Reviewing regular updates. And this is very
regular update.
important. So keep this in mind because as you go in the industry, they will be asking you all of these things, right? Because our goal is to prepare you for the job. You're already on the job.
Yes.
MashaAllah. This is great, right? And those who are going through Al Razak, even if they do half of it or 20% of it, they're already sitting on the job, right?
Okay.
Uh, so I'm really happy that you're already practicing that you went through right now in the industry, right? Okay,
Yes.
this is the final question, and then we are done for the day. And then I can tell you your scores.
Okay.
Uh, Compliance evolution. PCI DSS is an evolving standard.
Hmm.
How would you ensure your DevSysOps strategy remains compliant with future updates to PCI DSS requirements? I mean, what would you do? What would you recommend to an organization that they must follow and do to
Hmm.
ensure that, they are secure and compliant?
I will regular compliance checks and continuous monitoring and updating, reviewing the security policies, and educating employees regarding the latest security risks and standards, and implementing the security policies effectively so that those information security policies can guide us to maintain the infrastructure secure.
Essentially, you already covered. I mean, this involves staying up to date with the industry
Mm,
changes,
mm,
participating in the PCI DSS community forums, focus
mm,
groups, stuff like that,
mm,
updating policies and procedures, communicating policies and procedures, educating the team members. I mean,
mm.
implementing flexible, scalable solutions that,
Yeah.
and the most important thing of all is like introducing generative AI in there, right? That's the most
Okay.
important. Okay, we are done.
Okay.
Okay, would you like to know your score?
Yes.
Let me calculate that. Okay,
Okay.
give me 1 minute. All right, your final score is so you scored above 85%. Okay.
Okay.
That's a very good score. I believe you are now in the top 3 students over here. Okay.
Okay.
The feedback I have for you is your presentation was precise, not verbose. You kept it short. You focus on the core points.
Mm.
And in the Q&A session, you struggle a little bit on some of the things, but you already knew the answers to most of the things because you went through the courses very well.
Mm.
I'm really proud of you, Musa Jamal.
Thank you.
I'm really happy
Thank you.
that you have secured the job. Now you can be classified as your final exam is basically it's done. So you still may have to complete some of the requirements on the
Yes,
port.
I know about them.
Before we can issue you the diploma process says that we inform EduQual, send your mark sheet. But before we do that, there's a process we have to go through, right?
Okay.
You may have to complete few more courses by just watching them, but essentially you have completed all the core requirements, right?
Mm.
You can go for Al Razak if you want for AI Ops. I would
Mm.
recommend you to go do that
Okay.
because I was in Saudi Arabia, and one of the things I'm doing right now is connecting to different people in different countries and
Mm.
trying to build alliances for students to for our students to place them on the job. No university does that.
Mm.
Even MIT, Stanford doesn't do that. I mean, I went
Mm.
there. That's why I know all the top universities, they just hand you over the degree and they just say, okay, go ahead and just look for it, what you have to do, right? Not in our case, we help you every step of the way. We make sure that
Mm.
you go through and you're secured and you have secured your employment. I'm really proud of you. I'm really
Thank you.
happy. Before coming in, I was under the impression that you will pass the exam because your marks were very good in all the exams, MCQs, assignments and everything. So I had this hunch that yes, you will be able to pass it.
Mm.
But like you surprised me. You struggled in few of the things, but then you've already started the work. I'm really proud of you. If you meet all the Al Razak requirements, you would be in a position to be selected, okay,
Okay.
for 100% scholarship from us.
Okay.
One of the criteria of selection for one of the primary requirement is to complete a diploma with us, pass all
Okay.
the exams, pass the Al Razak, pass all the core requirements, and then you can be eligible for applying for the scholarship. It doesn't matter to me if you have a gold medal from somewhere else. No, that's all academic stuff, right? What
Mm.
matters to me is what you go through us and how prepared you are, what you did, so on and so forth. So I'm really proud, that you chose the right stuff. Um, I see you going at very uh, new heights, and you
Thank
can
you.
even supersede. You've already superseded me, essentially, right? Uh, and in my life, I have many students, thousands and thousands of them, now in hundreds and thousands. I can tell you that you are one of the brightest I have seen. I'm really happy. You, Shanze, Junaid, they're the 3 top right now.
Mm.
The other ones, they struggled, but they mumbled and then they fumbled, but they still were able to pass. Some of them failed very miserably, right?
Mm.
But I'm really happy. Say my regards to your parents,
Sure.
and I hope
Inshallah.
that you get married soon.
Inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank
And
you.
I will see you for the AI Ops exam in the next few months as soon as you
Inshallah.
complete all the core requirements. Okay.
Inshallah.
Thank you. If you need any help in your
Mm.
new job, guidance or anything, we are
Mm.
always available. And we provide this to all of our students who complete their qualification. Get
Mm.
your MCQs part done for the internship so that
Okay.
you can basically apply for more higher paying jobs, right? You can
Okay.
even apply for jobs in the States and you
Okay.
can easily get them. I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
you have a lot of potential, a
Okay.
lot, huge potential. Okay.
Okay.
And I will always remember you in my salah and my du'as. Okay. You have a
Inshallah.
name of Musa, which is one of the Prophet Moses. So
Mhm.
I can't forget that. Okay. Jazakallah khair for your time. And
Jazakallah.
see you all next time when I'm live. Assalamu
Inshallah.
alaikum.